GTA is stock full of Easter eggs and immense detail. Today, we'll be covering the more unsettling in nature, 3 murder mysteries, and a few creepy details you can find scattered throughout the map. From the corrupt and murder-filled world of Vinewood, too close to Hollywood in name and reputation, we have some dark and perhaps real cases brought to the game. I think everyone knows this, but it's still my favorite Easter egg in the game, the ghost of Jolene Cranley, located on Mount Gordo and spawning between 11 and midnight. She's forever wearing that terrifying open mouth and wide-eyed look on her face. If you're below the cliff, you can hear the screaming, whispering, and sounds of voices. Staring up the cliff, you'll see Jolene once again. Now, back up to the top, walking towards the ghost will cause her to disappear, and on the ground are the words Jock. Also, if you want a closer look at her, you can view her through your phone camera or a scope on your gun. For the full story, you'll have to visit the website Who Killed Lenora Johnson, which talks about a different murder. However, heading to the tab on the site labeled Main Players is a deeper look into the case of her death, and you can find a link to a newspaper snippet which generalizes the story. The couple had an argument over Jock wanting to move out of Blaine County to pursue a dream of being a stuntman. So, while out on a walk, Jock pushed Jolene to her death. What an asshole, right? Just remember that whenever you see his face plastered on billboards and websites. I'm going to cover 2 separate mysteries since that's how I initially found them, before researching and learning they were connected. I'll touch on the connection after. Heading in between the Great Chaparral and Fort Zancudo is an abandoned mine. Make sure you visit at night to drive the suspense even further. You'll have to destroy the mine door. Walking inside is already pretty eerie, but coming to a cross-section, you'll stumble upon a dead body belonging to a man named Isaac, who was an actor over 60 years ago. Surprisingly, not decomposed, but looking quite dehydrated, you could say. Next to him is a film reel with a competitor's film studio's name, most likely to cover it up. Most of the rest of the mine is just tracks, tools, and several dead ends. Oh, and the reason Isaac was killed was because of a movie disagreement, and I'll get to that later. The second mystery I found that I didn't know was linked was underwater. Strangely, located so close to the military base, just west off the coast is a woman's body, head wrapped and cinder blocks tied to her feet, weighing her down to the ocean's floor. Imagine stumbling upon that randomly. I've always thought it was a very mob-like hit, and that's all the more real, now that I know both these murders are linked. The studio that Isaac worked for, Fred Pictures, killed him, over Isaac wanting to create a live-action film instead of a cartoon, whose mascot is the company's logo. The woman found out about the murder, and they also killed her. Finding Isaac's body is the conclusion to the mission, Murder Mystery, which is the mission I talked about connecting the two. The events of the mission play out as such. You find 4 writings carved into walls around the city.
No, he's a
The woman's body, a letter on Solomon's desk that tells the entire story, and finally finding Isaac in the mine, completing the mission, and giving 2 filters for your camera and overlay. Strange, isn't it? Merle Abrams, or most likely known as the Infinity 8 Killer, probably the most well-known true story. North Sandy Shores, where the houses are, you can find the burned house of Merle. Inside the house is written, "There will be 8, and 8 is just infinity stood up," hinting towards the future killings and fascination. Off a main road, cutting through Sandy Shores, is a rock with a poem, reading, "1 is done, 2 was fun, 3 tried to run, 4 called mom, 5's not alive, 6 is nix, 7's in heaven, and 8 won't wait." Just south of that rock poem is another, with a short riddle written on it. "They want me, they can have, but they'll never get my people, even though I shall leave them sign enough where they put me." Inside Bolingbroke Penitentiary is another phrase in the recreation yard, "Where water meets land and fire once spewed forth, there the Infinity 8 shall stay until I return," perhaps hinting at Mount Chiliad, a supposed old volcano, and the Pacific coast up north. The islands above match close as stated in the riddle. That's just speculating what the riddle means. But yes, the bodies do all lie up at those islands, and here are the 8 locations. All bodies are wrapped up concealing their identity. Finally, there is a newspaper found in a destroyed shack in Sandy Shores, stating Merle's death in 2004, and him killing 8 male joggers in 1999, and have fun visiting each location. Jumping into GTA Online, you can start once again, another murder mystery, but finding clues connected to the killer. First is a severed hand you can find near the end of the Sandy Shores airstrip. The second is writing on the side of a brick building in the Great Chaparral that reads, "Can you find me?" The third is a bloody machete sticking outside the wood barn in Graveseed. The fourth is a bloody hand on a rear door of a lodge found in the Palito Forest. The final clue can be found in several spots, and I'll put up a map of each. You'll find a van with bags, blood, and weapons. Totally not terrifying. I found mine off the track of Braddock Pass. After finding the van, you'll get a text from the killer, threatening your life. Once the night comes, you'll either become his next victim, or end the slaughter. Unfortunately, he's not the terrifying murderer you thought he was. Well, he sorta just looks like a crazy regular guy. Maybe that is scary. I'm about to get into something more conspiracy-like, so put your tinfoil hats on. There's a house marked 3543 in Vinewood Hills. During the day, you'll pass it by, but at night, you'll notice the upstairs has blood splattered on its windows. Even worse, shooting the front windows of the house, they'll bleed instead of having standard glass bullet holes. The crazy part is what this could be tied to. Looking up the address of the house in Los Angeles and the houses in the game most lead you across the city, but 3543 holds you in Los Feliz. This matches up pretty close to a murder that happened at 2475 in the same neighborhood, and general locations of where the surrounding area of the map in-game and real life are located. I'm recording this the night before. I just realized I hadn't had an outro, so here's me a bit raw. Long story short, honestly, just thanks for watching. GTA games are always stocked full of Easter eggs, and there's always a handful of creepier ones with the abundance. And I hadn't even mentioned the Halloween updates every year, which I'll put the trailers in the back. Those are always fun too. But if you're a returning viewer, thanks again. I've been away for a while. I make no promises, but I got some ideas in my head. Let's just hope I see them through. Subscribe or don't, just hope you enjoyed. Anyway, bye bye.